Hi, welcome to the Catholic Corner. I'm Monsignor Walter Nolan. My guest today is a very, very special guest, a beautiful friend that I guess we started, Sister Rosemary, a long time ago doing some of this kind of work,
That's
really.
right.
And then our lives go all over the place. Sister Rosemary Jeffries is a beautiful sister of mercy and just a beautiful, beautiful human person. Sister Rosemary served as president of Georgian Court University from 2001 to 2015. She's a graduate of Georgian Court herself, way back when.
Yep.
During her tenure as president of Georgian Court, it was elevated to university status in 2004. In 2012, it became fully coeducational. During Sister's tenure, the university added 17 new academic majors, including a partnership with Meridian Health School of Nursing, which was launched, I think, in fall of 2008 to address the nursing shortage in New Jersey and other areas. The BSN program, designed by nursing professionals with doctoral degrees, prepares professional nurses who work in collaboration with other members of the healthcare team to provide a holistic, patient-centered care. More than 90 new nurses have graduated from the program since 2012. These are just a few of the highlights of Sister Rosemary's achievements. Let us find out a little bit more about my dear friend, Sister Rosemary, and the great work that she's done in many, many areas, but especially, I hope, in her tenure as president of Georgian Court University. Sister, so great to be with you.
It's very nice to be here.
God bless you.
Thank
God
you.
love you. Maybe, I know people are sometimes interested, how does a sister become a sister? But your life with the Sisters of Mercy, it's always been around education?
Yeah, pretty much, yes. Yes. I started out as an art teacher, and I thought I was going to teach art for the rest of my life. And I'm a little far afield of teaching art, but the Sisters of Mercy certainly have inspired generations of students in elementary school and middle school and high school, and now certainly in college as well. I was certainly attracted to their spirit when I was in high school myself, and I thought I wanted to be a part of that.
So in your younger days, Sisters of Mercy taught you?
Yeah, in high school.
Oh.
Yeah, in Atlantic City, as a matter of fact. I went to Holy Spirit, and they were a wonderful group of educators. They had a great sense of life and a spirit among themselves. They looked like they had a good time. And I thought I wanted to be a part of that group. And I saw how dedicated they were to students and to their careers and to making sure that they got the skills that they needed. So
Terrific. Now, did you have a little piece of grammar school, high school, and I know you had some.
Yeah, I went to a Catholic grammar school in Ocean City, New Jersey, where I grew up, which way south of here, of course. But and I had the Sisters of St. Joseph. They were wonderful teachers, and I loved them. But there was something special about the Sisters of Mercy that I met.
But as a Sister of Mercy, did you ever teach in a grammar school and a high school? Or?
No.
No.
I taught in the high school,
school.
but not in grammar school.
Okay.
I taught at Red Bank Catholic.
Okay.
Right here in our
I didn't know if you graduated all the way up the line.
No.
What are some of the jobs that you've had even before becoming president of the university?
Well, as you know, we started out a long time ago. I had the great privilege of starting the Office of Communication for the Diocese of Trenton way back in 1976.
That's when that was.
Yeah. Catholic communications was just beginning to be a recognized, important part and department in diocese, and Bishop Barr, in his wisdom, thought that was a good thing to start. So I had the opportunity to create that office, and I worked in that. I did a fair amount of work for the religious community. As I told you, I had taught at Red Bank Catholic. I also did some development for the community, fundraising, and did a lot of public relations and communications throughout my career.
Did you go right from communications into Georgian Court, or?
No, I went on in communications for the community, the Sisters of Mercy, and I did a fair amount of public relations and communications for them. I also was elected to my community leadership team,
Sure.
and so I did that before. And in between some of that moving around and working for the community, I also got a doctorate in sociology at Fordham. And
My alma mater.
yeah, right. So, and then I ended up doing a little adjunct teaching too at Seton Hall, and I really liked the higher ed, and I thought, oh, this is something I could sink my teeth into.
So what led you to Georgian Court? And was that a position you applied for?
Yes, I did. At the time, there was a vacancy, and the trustees put out a letter to certainly, publicly, and certainly as a member of the community, I read it, and they were looking for someone to do some fundraising, additional fundraising, focus on communications and public relations, and make sure that the ongoing legacy of the Sisters of Mercy and the attention to our mercy mission became stronger. I thought, well, I could do those three things. So I thought I'll put my hat in the ring, and so here I am.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about Georgian Court? You know, it's a beautiful, beautiful university. I don't know, it's like a gem that lots of folks maybe don't know about.
Right. It is a beautiful estate. It's 155 acres, and we bought that estate in 1924. We started our college in Plainfield, and we called it Mount St. Mary, up in Plainfield, where there's still an academy. Within the first 16 or 17 years, the sisters realized they were running out of space, and so they were ready to build another building and create more space for this, beginning, growing college. Now, we were giving degrees to women in 1908, 1912 was our first graduating class, before women had the right to vote.
Wow.
So as the college there in Plainfield grew, we ran out of space. So it was, do you build more there, or do you look for someplace else? And so the George J. Gould estate became available, and the sisters, in their wisdom, decided they would purchase that. They moved the college in 1924.
What a vision.
What a vision, and they renamed it. One, there's not a mountain in Lakewood that you could think about, so it can't be Mount St. Mary's. And secondly, the name of the estate was Georgian Court.
Okay.
So we just assumed the name of the estate and started business down there in 1924. So we're about 107 years old. Traditionally, we were all women, as you can know from our history, and more recently, in 2012, we became fully co-ed. So there's been a lot of progressions of who Georgian Court is. It was a small liberal arts school. We've added professional degrees. Nursing, you just talked about, is more recent, but we also, a professional degree is becoming a teacher. A professional degree is in business. A professional degree is if you want to be a social worker. And so those got added as the needs of society changed, which is pretty much the spirit of the Sisters of Mercy. Mm-hmm. Always looking at what is the new need and trying to meet that in some way that's effective for people to become part of the service of the needs of the people.
You know, I'm sure as a woman, religious sister that loves, the Sisters of Mercy, you must think back at some of the sisters, who formed some of the thinking patterns, or even took the gamble, and you must have still admire their wisdom, and it's not easy to take that risk.
No, it isn't. And as I've been, concluding this final year of my presidency, I've spent some time trying to get to look at the presidencies of my predecessors. I'm the 8th sister president of Georgian Court. And the first president, Mother Cecilia Scully, she served Mount St. Mary and then Georgian Court for 32 years. I thought, wow, that's quite a legacy. She's the one who founded the college in 1908, built the college, expanded the college, moved the college, renamed the college, redid a whole estate that was really set up for polo ponies, not for people taking classes, and started business in 1924. Never lost a beat.
And I hope I can say this properly. At a time when I guess women were not.
Exactly. I just had this conversation with some folks about, I'm not sure how that worked because women in 1908 it certainly did not have the right to vote in this country. And I don't even know how the property worked because I'm not quite sure how that, but they managed to do all of this, to purchase new property, to set up new corporations, and continue to graduate class after class of
No,
students.
even way back then, sister, would the girls live there? Or
Yes.
were there any commuting to the university? Or?
At that point, no. Everybody was pretty much living on campus. Today is a very different reality. We more than 2/3 of our student body are commuting. When we have graduate students,
Right.
older adults,
Right.
and that are commuting to campus, but we're a great regional university, and we also service the local area, greater Ocean Monmouth County area. And we still have a resident population, but there are a fair number of people that choose to commute. Lots because of economics.
Sure.
And
Sure.
and we offer quality liberal arts and professional degrees that's close to home. And as we say, we do it with values added. So in the Catholic tradition, I think that Catholic mercy tradition is an important part of what we offer.
Your core values that come out of your whole mercy, love of justice, respect, integrity, compassion. Tell me, how do you, as a president, I mean, just to me, even talking to you, knowing you as well as I know you, it's still kind of awe-inspiring in a way that you can take those and say, how do we put this into all the different various, not only academics, but sports or even into the professors, and so much has to go on.
I think the attention to values was one of the things I tried to do when I first got to Georgian Court as a president. And one way you learn as an educator is if you keep on repeating the same lesson, eventually everybody gets it.
Ah, yes. Yeah,
So every chance I had to get up and speak publicly in my first year or two, I always used those values. I always enumerated them. And as I've often said to faculty, staff, and our students, the Sisters of Mercy got into the business of higher education because women deserved the right to have a degree as
Boy,
well
oh
as a
boy.
man.
Boy, oh boy.
But they also got in it for those values. Make no mistake about it. You can get a degree anywhere. But values that you can take for the rest of your life is really the reason we're in this business. So I think you'll see them on our campus when you drive in. They're on signs, beautifully depicted. We talk about them very often. Our students use them in many of the ways that they create their own mission statements for their student government, their clubs. The athletic teams all talk about these. It's used in orientation, both for employees as well as students. And every time we ask our employees, what are they most proud about? It is really those values that they're most proud about. And being a part of an organization that says, that's really what matters. Do we do it all perfectly? No. We don't. We fail oftentimes as community, but we try.
But it's even nice to admit that, there's no perfection, in whether it's
No.
family or life or our own personal lives.
Right.
It's nice to know, but it's also nice to know that that we're always, I often think, sister, that the Beatitudes are
Right.
not preached enough, lived enough.
Right.
We talk about the commandments, well, but the Beatitudes are ladders. We can
Yeah.
go up the step, down the step, up the step again,
Right.
and that's. And while you were talking, I'm saying to myself, God bless my mother. You know, I mean, she never went to university, of course. But when you said, do you repeat them over and over again? I guess I used to hear over and over again my mom saying, son, this is what we do this, this is
That's
why we
right.
do this. And after a while,
You finally get it.
It becomes the part of your being, you know.
Right.
That's so true.
Right.
The role, the mission of Catholic higher education.
The role and mission of Catholic higher education is very much what I was just saying in terms of the Sisters of Mercy, the values we care about, the Catholic tradition. I think that's what distinguishes Catholic higher education, that we not only try to make sure that people graduate with great skills for careers and a life, and to make a meaningful life, and to make a contribution to their communities, but with a certain set of, that they're rooted in a value system that will make them wonderful parts of our church and parts of our communities that are going to make the world a better place and change the world, hopefully, for the better.
And you know, sister, I mean, you have this experience. Sometimes I guess I'm dumbfounded, if that's the right word, when you see television or the newspaper, and you see somebody or some person who has been educated and does some things that you say, wow, why would you be educated and go this direction? And yet maybe they've never been in a place, or maybe it's never incorporated into their very, very lifestyle to make decisions. Because I think when we make decisions later on in life, I've always believed this, that somehow that decision you make later on has got some roots way, way, way back here.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth to that. I also think that it's easy for people to get off the course a bit at certain times in their life, and hopefully the values, as much as they're, as you say, like the Beatitudes are a ladder, and they're ideals, just like those values are ideals, and we do it well and not so well some days. And sometimes we get off course, and hopefully the values are solid enough that we find our way back to course. I think what I'm hearing in our Holy Father's message to all of us in this church is that sense of mercy first and compassion, even for those who offend us.
And maybe especially.
And maybe especially, and for those that make us wonder when we say, well, how did they get so far off course? Or maybe they were never on a course. And yet his invitation to us to make ourselves a church of mercy, I've been praying about that and thinking about that, meditating on that a lot. I am a sister of mercy, and his unpacking that word for us more and more, and challenging all of us.
Yeah, I think we should do a program on that, especially too. I just think the whole idea of forgiveness and mercy,
Exactly.
I don't think we really even touched the real meaning of it with our own faith and with the great love of Jesus. What were some of your difficulties as president of a university?
Well, there's always difficulties with
Challenges.
Challenges with finances. You never have enough money to do everything. And how do you inspire people that they want to contribute to this vision? Some of the other challenges are oftentimes where you least expect it, sometimes with trying to work collaboratively with other colleges and universities throughout the state, depending upon how much competition's going on. But I would say the biggest challenge for me personally as being a president is trying to balance what is important about Georgian Court, its Catholic mercy tradition, with some of the other competing value systems of others, like, well, we could cut a corner here, or we could do this. That's one piece. And the other challenge to me personally is, how do you make sure you take time for what's important in my life? I've always said, even when I went to the college, was then college when I first started at Georgian Court as president, and I talked to my own religious community after I was appointed, and I said, well, I'm happy to be going to this and so forth and so on. But I said, I hope I will be living and dying as a Sister of Mercy, not as the college president. At least I hope I don't die as the college president. To put the emphasis on that which roots us personally, and for me personally, it is my religious vocation, and I needed to stay faithful to that first, or I would not be a good president. But it's pretty easy to get lulled or encouraged to be too busy, which I think, again, is another one of the real challenges most of us in professional lives find. You can be so busy you can lose balance for yourself.
Yeah, I think that's something you can speak loud and clear to all of us. I don't care what stage we're in our lives, religious life, married life, single life.
Exactly.
I think to know who you are, so to speak, and what you want to be, and that's
sometimes
very,
it takes courage to say, no, I can't do something.
Sure. Sure. No, that's so well spoken. What are some of the things you're proud of? The milestones. I mean, you had a great run. Listen, that's been beautiful.
Yeah, and I've had wonderful people.
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, this isn't all me. This is a lot of people who have worked very hard and collaborated with me over these many years. And I've had wonderful people to be on a team with me. Faculty have been terrific. Staff, they're just really great people. And as I say, what's great about Georgian Court is they never give up on a student.
Mm-hmm.
But for me personally, the biggest thing I'm happy about is that sense of values, which you talked about. How do you get that? I hear that back. I hear that echo where our folks are very proud of those values. They speak about them. They speak about how we could do that better or do this better with regard to those values. And I hear that from our students as well. So to me, that's what I'm most proud about. There are some other things, of course, that some of the academics, the School of Nursing, the Georgian Court Meridian School of Nursing is a great plus for the region, and it's a great plus for our students, and a great opportunity for the university, becoming a university. I think going co-ed, too.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that in my purview when I first went to Georgian Court. I thought it was going to remain the women's college and have a graduate school that was co-ed and an evening division, but this does give a greater portion of the local population an opportunity to get a great Catholic Mercy education right around home. And I think going co-ed at this part of our history is the right thing, and I'm glad I could be there to see that through.
I just recommended a young man.
Great.
I did.
Great.
Yeah,
That's
did.
great.
Yeah.
And the young men that have come to us in these past 2 years in the fully co-ed, both as resident students and athletes, and working on clubs and student government, and they're terrific, and they're a great part of the institution.
Now that you're no longer president, well, I think you got a couple more months.
Yeah, I do.
What are your hopes for the university, the liberal arts, and for the future students?
Well, I know that there is a building on the School of Nursing. I think we're looking at what other health science degrees that would be added in the future. There's a great desire. It's a great career opportunity, and what better kind of people you'd want in helping professions than those with a great sense of values. It certainly is part and parcel of who the Sisters of Mercy. We have a great legacy here in this country in healthcare, and so we're looking at some degrees other than nursing in the health sciences. I know that there is a great deal of emphasis on the psychology majors, counseling psych, which you certainly would understand the need for that more
Sure.
and more. Our psychology department has grown quite a bit, and they're looking at some other products as well, some other degrees that they would add in the near future. And it really will be the academic community working with this new president, Dr. Marbach, who will be joining Georgian Court in July, will be a terrific addition to Georgian Court, and as the 9th president will take it another step. And always building on that liberal arts foundation that we had, plus those mercy values, I think will take Georgian Court to a new place.
And he seems like a very, very fine gentleman and a fine,
Yes.
fine choice. I mean, I think God's spirit has brought the right person to.
Absolutely, yeah. I've had a chance to meet with Dr. Marbach a couple of times, and he looks like he's very enthused about this opportunity, and he looks forward to it. And I hope that you have him on the program sometime and give him a chance to.
Terrific. No, we will. I
Yeah.
think it's a good idea.
The
It's a very good idea.
early on in his presidency, so he will bring different sets of skills to the university. He's a political scientist, and I believe you're right. The right person comes at the right time. It's very different to think about Georgian Court with a male president, but I think it's wonderful.
Not a Sister of Mercy.
And not a Sister of Mercy. And I know there was a lot of concern about that,
Sure.
but
Time.
It's time.
It's time.
It's
It's
time.
time. It's time that we all see our discipleship and then our baptismal promises be part of everything.
Yes.
Quickly.
Yes.
What are you going to do for yourself now?
Oh, I'm hoping that I'm going to get back to painting.
Ah.
As I told you, I started out as an art teacher, and I loved painting, and my first degree is in art, and I haven't had a chance to really seriously paint in quite some time, and I hope to do a little of that, maybe do some writing, and then after I take a little space in this next year, I hope God will open what's the next chapter.
Sister, love you. I tell you, you've been a special friend way, way back. Enjoy yourself. Know that God blesses you very well, and thanks. Thanks
you.
for all of the students and everybody you've touched. They're marvelous. Gosh, I hope you enjoyed, Sister. Please, be part of education, be part of family life, be part of God's love. We love you. Bless you. Thank you.